Okay, so the title is clickbait. I'll admit it, but hear me out because this month has been one of my best months on Fiverr so far, and I'm about to tell you why I'm walking away from a $172,000 per year income stream. Well, not exactly walking away, but definitely shifting my focus elsewhere. And if you're a freelancer relying on just one platform, you're going to want to stick around because this could change your entire strategy. But first, let me give you some context. Now, I started on Fiverr back in November 2020, and my yearly earnings have looked something like this. 2020, $3,000, as I was only on it for the last 2 months of the year. 2021, just under 50K. 2022, up to $80,000. 2023, a slight decrease down to 72,000. 2024, doubling the previous year with 140,000. 2025, 172,000. And 2026, well, I'm already at 30K and we're only 2 months into the year. Now, these numbers, you do need to take them with a pinch of salt because this is purely my Fiverr earnings and they're actually not 100% accurate. Because when you look at that 30K figure for 2026 so far, that's what shows up on this blue graph in my Fiverr dashboard. But even though we're going to close February out somewhere just over $20,000 in confirmed earnings, I currently have over 10K in active orders that were placed in February but haven't been completed yet. So the real picture is actually better than what the dashboard shows. And I keep a daily account of everything I earn because, well, I'm a little bit of a nerd like that. And this month, from February 1st to 26th, I've actually earned $27,040 in total. That's an average of $1,040 per day. And I've been lucky enough to actually only have one day where I didn't earn anything. And that was Tuesday, February 10th. Every other day, money has been coming in consistently. And about 70% of this is coming through Fiverr, with the rest from other sources and recurring clients. So if you've ever wondered, can you actually make money on Fiverr? Well, the answer is absolutely yes. It's possible, and these are the actual numbers to prove it. Now, if you've been following my journey, you probably already know, on average, I normally make between 15 to 20K a month from Fiverr alone. And don't get me wrong, that's amazing. It's life-changing money for most people, but here's the thing. When you've been hovering around those same numbers for the last year, consistently hitting that ceiling month after month, it's time to take things to a new level. And that brings me on to... So here's the thing. I started 2026 with a goal, and that goal is to hit $50,000 per month. And I've come to the conclusion that it's just not going to be possible to do that on Fiverr alone. I kind of feel like I've hit a ceiling, and it's not for lack of trying. I'm working literally my ass off pretty much every day. The orders are coming in, my gigs are performing well, my reviews are solid, but no matter what I do, I keep bouncing around that $15,000 to $20,000 mark. And here's the reality. On Fiverr, you're limited by the platform structure. You're competing on price to some degree, you're waiting for clients to find you, and even when you're at the top of your category, there's only so much volume that actually comes through. And the realization hit me hard. If I'm doing this well on Fiverr, pulling in these consistent numbers month after month, why the hell am I not diversifying more? Why am I not on Upwork? Why am I not building my own brand outside these platforms? Why am I putting all of my eggs into just one basket? And here's another thing that hit me. What happens if Fiverr changes their algorithm tomorrow? What if my gigs suddenly stop ranking? What if the platform makes a policy change that affects my business? I'd be pretty much screwed. My entire income would actually be at risk. And that, I guess, is the negative factor of dependency. And I don't want to be dependent on one single platform for my entire livelihood. Now, I know what you're thinking, but you're already working constantly. And you're right. The freelance lifestyle isn't always glamorous. If you want to create a decent business and make great money, you have to grind. For instance, here's what my typical day looks like. I wake up at 6 a.m, I'm in front of the laptop working. From 9 a.m, I'm shooting video content for clients. Fast forward to 9 p.m. at night, I'm back in front of the laptop, whether it's client work or building my own thing. Now, I can actually work 7 days a week if I want to, and it can literally be non-stop. But the rewards and benefits you reap from grinding this hard can be huge. And honestly, I'd rather grind now while I'm building something sustainable than coast and wake up in 2 years realizing that I've wasted time. So let's discuss. All right, here's my game plan for reaching that $50,000 per month goal. Step 1, Upwork. Yes, Upwork is a different ballgame. You can't just rely on clients coming to you. You have to send proposals. But here's the benefit I'm looking forward to. Because you have to pay for proposals, it creates that barrier for underskilled freelancers. On Fiverr, there really is no barrier to entry. Anyone can set up a profile, create a gig, and pay nothing until they actually get an order. That's why there are so many mediocre and underskilled freelancers who don't take things seriously. Now, my goal for Upwork is to reach $10,000 a month within the next 4 to 6 months. Step 2, a second YouTube channel. This is something I'd recommend to a lot of you to do as well. I'm opening a YouTube channel connected to my business, educating business owners and content creators on how to make and produce better video content to gain more leads and create sales. Now, this is what I've already been doing for the last 5 years for other businesses. I've coached numerous business owners on how to be better in front of a camera. And now it's time to take that next level with a dedicated channel and social media presence, with the main aim of pushing my services through those channels. Step 3, meta ads. Now, this has been in the pipeline for a while, and I'm finally getting around to running meta ads, taking people directly to a landing page for my services. There's no more waiting for clients to find me. The hope is that by the time summer is over in 2026, I'm reaching that $50,000 per month goal. Of course, there's a limit to how much work I can physically take on as one person, especially when shooting video content. So my prices will also need to increase as I scale, which, let's be honest, when you work on freelance platforms, your prices have to be very competitive. But this will change for those clients I'm able to bring through directly. Now, I'm not really just making this video to discuss my master plan with you guys. I want you to take something away as well. Now, I know a lot of you quite well, whether it's through my $1 community or auditing your gigs live on this channel. And I know a lot of you get comfortable. The grinding is not something you really prioritize, and I get it. Everybody is different. We all have different goals in life. Some people might be happy making $1,000 a month. Others want $100,000 a month. But here's the one thing that I want you to take away. If you're relying on one avenue to make money, like creating Fiverr gigs and just waiting for clients, stop waiting. Rethink your strategy. There is always something to do when you're building your freelance career. It seriously never stops. And I can tell you from my own experience, not once do I sit still. Not once do I get bored. My to-do list of things that I want to achieve, build, and try out is never ending. And if you're at a stage where you're literally just sitting there waiting for clients, you're making a big mistake. There are an unlimited amount of other things that you could be doing right now. Whether that's building a personal brand, venturing onto other freelance platforms, cold DMing people on Instagram to sell your services, starting a YouTube channel, or creating educational content for your niche. And yes, these things might not make you money from day one, but they will later on. There's literally nothing stopping you from doing something productive today that will help you later on. Which brings me on to... Okay, here's something crucial. I spoke to Vasily this week. Now, if you follow me, you've probably heard of him. We've done some podcasts together. He's a huge Fiverr seller offering social media growth services. Right now, he's in a transition stage, and he's somewhat worried because he's not sure what's going to happen. He's planning to try something new to see if it works, and that's all you can do with freelancing. You try something and see if it works. Vasily has basically seen some of his services declining, so Now he's transitioning into something different. And honestly, I couldn't be more supportive because this is one more thing that a lot of freelancers leave until it's too late. Remember, just because there's demand for your service today doesn't mean that there will still be demand in 2 years' time. Some of the video content I used to offer a year or two ago, like green screen videos, I barely get orders for anymore. The last time I stood in front of a green screen was probably 3 months ago. 2 years ago, I would have been doing it like 10 to 15 times a week. Instead, things have just moved on. UGC, social media ads, video sales letters, these are what's huge right now. But in 2 years, will UGC still be popular? Maybe, maybe not. Probably something else will come along. And when that happens, we'll adapt. So keep this in mind. If you're a successful freelancer right now, but starting to see things decrease, it could be that demand is fizzling out because the trend for that service just isn't really what it used to be. And at that stage, you have two options: transition and go in a different direction, or stick with the same thing, hoping and praying that it will change and improve. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, the chances of things changing are very, very slim. So, you've just heard my
master plan for why I'm shifting
my focus away from Fiverr, what my goals are for 2026, and hopefully a few tips that you can implement to see some big changes in your journey too. And I guess the moral of this video is to just not get comfortable. Don't rely on one platform and always be ready to adapt. Now, before I go, I do have a $1 community. Yes, $1, ridiculously cheap, links in the description. I'm active there pretty much every single day. It's no frills, no weekly webinars and all of that muzzle. But if you do ask questions, you will get answers. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video.